Sociopath, sociopath, sociopath. Okay, so actually the last two stories are about these female ones. Again, before we continue with this saga of sociopaths and abusers, it was always from men, and they made the laws and they okayed this type of conduct. And so there's a thing called cycle of abuses, right? So if you abuse a little girl and she turned out to be a sociopath, she's going to start abusing other people, right? So if you go into a court and they're like, it's legal for us to rape you, it's legal for us to abuse you. There's no way to get them in trouble, right? And then it just caused this history of abuses, and it's related to the other case that I just did, but since there's a block on it, what I really, really want to, because to me it was like discovering gold, okay? Because it was a little more in depth than most of the stories that you guys heard out here. We've gone through the Spacey story and all that other stuff, but it touched on like my evil grandmother stuff, right? And then it also touched on a long family history of abuse, and it also touched on the damages that these people do further, in the future, and how just saying that you were abused as a child is not a time to go, give a pity party either, right? And you want to make sure that they went and got help in some which way. And I've talked extensively about my situation where like I tackled it early on, like there were things happening and I was like, I don't like that. It's not a thing where like I thought, I was totally fine like right after. I mean, I just didn't think about it. Like you just don't think about it. But there were some actions that I did where I was like, that is not how I would normally want to act, or why am I doing that? So those questions were posed early on in my teen years that lucky for me, this other crap didn't go on. Now, I don't know if it just wouldn't go on because the abuses that I had didn't lead to that, or they could. I mean, to me, it's like if you leave something without, getting it fixed, that you could definitely just recycle that without even a thought, which everybody's doing in the public. And even though they'll present themselves as like they're a fake crusader, they're just all abusers. I can't tell you that I've met anybody who was not like an abuser in some which way, shape, or form. But some are not the types that we're talking about here, where they go and abuse children and, other stuff. But again, you never really know somebody, right? Like you could think that somebody wouldn't do these things, and don't make excuses for them like nobody should. Um, and it gets hard, because sometimes you just do things automatically and you have to be very self aware of this stuff. And yeah, the only cure for that type of thing is if, and I don't even know if it would be a cure, it's just the thing where you would have to constantly combat and not abuse others, right? So the big thing has always been abusing women. So it's kind of no surprise that we're seeing this conduct more. I don't know if it's more prevalent or if it's just because they're getting caught now and they're talking about it. But if you go back into the historical thing, you see where all the women were abusing others too, right? Along with it. But they're technically like slaves to white men. So they're just like they're abused slaves, kind of like doing that thing because it's not their thoughts, right? And oh my God. Yeah, because it touched on this other story too, not the one from yesterday, but the death penalty thing. Okay, so social worker accused of having sex with teen retweeted post backing death penalty for pedophiles. Okay, let me say something though. When you talk to these people, what is their version of a pedophile? Because they do differ, right? Because for some reason, uh, Florida thinks if you're 12, you're old enough, okay? But under 12, we should kill you because rape is totally different on a different age. It really isn't. The violence of rape is rape, and it's terrible on any age. It is a hate crime. It is all kinds of bad things, right? But it's really interesting that these fake crusaders that are like, save the kids, are off like touching kids, right? Now, the mentality to this is just really interesting. But okay, so they said that. Now, see, this went into a 13-year-old boy. To this person, the 13-year-old boy is old enough, right? Because it didn't fall under their 12-year-old bullshit, right? So what no, they think that it should be legal at 12. Actually, between the ages of 10 and 12 is historically America, right? Actually, there was no age of consent, I believe, at the beginning, but I have to go back again. That was really sketchy information there. But in the 1800 portion, it went up to like 10 to 12 and, those type of things. So, yeah. And let's keep in mind, they also promoted women to rape little boys. So keep that in mind. So there was a promotion of this when she was born, more than likely. But yeah, because it says she was 24. So we're talking in 1999. Is that right? Yeah, 1999. Oh yeah, they were all pro raping me in 99 because when my stuff came out in '01, oh yeah, they said it's totally fine that, so and so could touch you. Like I don't matter in the story, right? Like, oh, they could touch you. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want them to touch me. So what the hell? That's the argument, right? Okay. An Ohio social worker accused of sexually abusing a 13-year-old boy in her care previously expressed support of the death penalty for pedophiles on social media, where she shared an image with the message, "Dead pedophiles don't reoffend." Wow. See, and here's the interesting thing. Now, I talk about these guys every day, right? Have you heard me say to kill them? No, I haven't said that. No. There's been some fake crusaders on here that wanted to do that. No, I did not ask for that. And I think that those are the people that are actually compensating for the fact that they rape kids. Like it's an overextension. Like, uh, I'm really against it. Like almost that type of response. Like I'm really against these pedophiles, but I am one. That type of thing. Yeah, like what the hell? Uh, and nobody should be asking for that. I said the only time that it would probably be a reason, if you want to call it a reasonable argument, is if they were out like serial killing a bunch of children or something. I could see somebody throwing that on the table, going, "That's a death penalty case," right? Um, Not for this. They need to be put away, right? Oh, she wants us to put her to death. She wants to put herself to death. I guess she was like suicidal here or something because I'm not asking for her to die. I think this is actually outrageous, but that you're gonna see this because you've seen it with the gays, right? Those guys, they're closeted gays, and then they go kill themselves, right? Those guys, yeah, they're just outing themselves in this stuff. It's just like an ex account belonged to Peyton Shears or something revealed the 24-year-old who had been charged with unlawful sexual conduct with a minor at one point in time supported the DP for pedophiles. Seemingly backed capital punishment for those convicted of sexual abuse in 2020, retweeting a post on her personal X account featuring a vehicle bumper sticker that read, oh, she had a bumper sticker? "Dead pedophiles don't reoffend." Oh, God. The and she's a social worker. Haha, told you those people are psychotic, man. And retweeted a post about a father who was trying to save his young daughter from being abused by her mother's boyfriend. In another post, showed off her life, sharing pictures of a 1-year-old son, fiance, and noting, "Own a house, have 3 dogs, got engaged, and have a 1-year-old, all at 21. So proud of these accomplishments." Okay. Yuck. Okay, Karen. Um, did you buy that house? I mean, I don't know. But anyways, have 3 dogs engaged and have a 1-year-old. I mean, I don't, you know what I mean? The charges were levied against the social worker followed October 6th phone call with the boy's mother, detectives from Columbus Police Department, during which she admitted to her behavior. She looks like a child, man. To me, she doesn't even look 21. To me, I'd be like, are you 18? I would think she's like 18. But anyway, yeah, she's 24. And, oh, wow. Well, okay, she's a social worker and she had this on her car. Dead pedophiles don't reoffend. Save the children. Bravo. Yeah, don't trust these save the kids people. I told you, I even mock those people. And I am really about saving the kids, okay? But I've mocked these people because they're so, like, fake because they really don't want to. Because when you mention a story to them that happened, they just ignore it, right? And then here you see they went off and touched some kids. It's most of these people that do that. Like there's things that they're doing that they don't want to consider as sexual abuse and that they are. And I said that, there was things in our childhood that I was like, I don't know, it would depend because like if we want to consider my evil grandmother when she was giving me a bath and scrubbing off my skin and stuff a form of sexual abuse, yeah, maybe, possibly, yeah. Not in the way that you would think that some other adults did on a date or, like, knocking you out. Some of these things are sexual abuses and they just were not considered sexual abuses at the time of. So the more that we talk about stuff, the more educated we become and the more that we can tackle this issue and stop people like her and, others. And it's not a thing about killing everybody because, see, again, they said it would be killing off your family. It would be killing off her. She wants to kill herself. You know what I mean? This stupid thing. Sharo landed herself in even more trouble when she later showed up at the teen's home with a gun. I mean, this conduct generally, perpetrators have been known to bully as victims. We have not been protected from this conduct right here. So that's what I was talking about. I was like, the public in general doesn't necessarily go and target the perpetrator. Like if the victim came out and said, oh, she did this to me. You know exactly what the public response is, right? Oh, I wish she would have touched me. She's hot. What? No big deal. Blah, blah, blah. This garbage, right? And then they would go target the victim. And so then now she goes and targets a victim with a gun. That is outrageous. The kid's like 13 or something. How scary. And then while away from home, the boy's mother saw her on the doorbell cam and called the cops. Yeah. I mean, not like you wouldn't know she's not that psychotic, with that save the children, dead pedophile thing, right? Yeah. Okay, so responding officers found her sitting with a gun pointed at her head. Here we go. Here we go, the sociopath. Okay, so okay, this is my problem with this crap. Okay, so, they're depressed, right? We're depressed because you're getting me in trouble for something I did, right? Harm to self and others, okay? So we got to keep that in mind because, yeah, that is part of that. Harm to self and others, okay? Not just a serial killer, not just, someone getting knocked off a bus, standing on it, driving, hanging off a ledge. This is part of that, and there is a difference. Like, it's hard for me to explain like what the difference is between like, you as a victim, right? You're like a legitimate victim to her, right? And you're depressed, right? You may see a victim do that, right? It's totally a different mindset of why they're depressed because it's from trauma and them being harmed, right? Their depression has to do with you're getting me busted for something I did to harm you. How dare you stop me from that? You are destroying my life. This is their depression. There is a difference, but I don't know how to like really verbally explain it to you guys, but I think you can understand it from that much. And in the last story, it's the same thing. Okay, I just harmed a tank of kids. I am feeling very fragile right now. This is them. And they are fragile. The sociopath, yeah, the socio is like all over the place. They're emotional. They're emos. And that's why I said it's crazy. And they try to like conflict it with like victims of them, right? But victims of them can then turn into sociopaths. So that's another thing about it, right? So somebody probably touched her when she was a kid. I have no idea. Her parents had to be atrocious because she's already going on like this at 21 and 24, whatever, okay? The boys, oh God. So, okay, so now she's threatening suicide, yelling that she was going to kill herself. There you go. If they do these wild things, right? And it's, do not conflict this with actual victims that are harmed from somebody. This is her. This is the school shooter type. This is those people. They're socio. So the boy's mom reportedly told investigators that she called her and told her that she wanted to kill her and then take her own life because she and her son ruined her life. Okay, yeah. So socios can't take responsibility for their conduct, as you see here. They ruined her life. This is their rationale in their scrambled egg brain, okay? This is male, female, any socio thinks like this. So it's ridiculous to even ask them about life at all because their perspective is completely warped, as you see, right? She had been additionally charged with intimidation of a crime victim and intimidation of a crime witness, right? How come none of these other people got in trouble for doing that to me, though? This is what I'm questioning. I'm like, you're taking it serious here, but how come nobody took it serious with all these other people on me, right? Or a million other victims, right? Because we read these stories all the time, even mostly with celebs and abusing their power. Those are some of the biggest abusers of this of all, right? Okay. She's from Mount Sterling, previously worked at the National Youth Advocate Program, which specialized in working with families involved in foster care system. It's unclear whether she met the boy through that thing. And then the boy's mother contacted police September 27th to report her suspicions after allegedly discovering inappropriate text messages between her son and her. Investigators then conducted a search of her phone and allegedly discovered footage and the boy and her having sexual contact. And there she is having her big socio fit, like, the victim. When police spoke with the teen, he reportedly admitted to having sex with them on at least 2 occasions in September. And they got licensed in June, and she's held on a 500K bond, and then, but it had reportedly been revoked, and she will remain in jail until her next court appearance. Okay, the National Youth Advocate Program is saddened by the situation involved one of our former employees and a young person served by our organization. So what do you think the mentality is of this, with them working with kids? I mean, I'm questioning a couple of things. Okay, so one theory has been that they do that to hide out to get to kids. But there's an interesting thing here with some of these people. So I'm okay with laying it out on the table because it could be any of these combo of things that they had been abused, right, as a kid, and so they go in and they go on these like fake crusade. Well, in their mind, they're really thinking that they're trying to like help kids and whatever, but they're so messed up, right? Because they never went to therapy or anything like that. And then they get involved in these child things, right? And then they decide that they're going to go abuse one of them, right? So I don't know if it's really like with all of them that it's necessarily like a charade per se, more or less maybe because they look at themselves constantly and chronically as the victim, right? Because they technically probably are. Like in her early portion, like if we actually knew her history, she probably technically was a victim. And so then, but as you see, she's chronically the victim even when she abuses other people. That's a difference. Like if you heard me on this channel constantly going, I'm the victim, I never did anything wrong type of thing, I would be suspicious of that. I've constantly talked about the earlier stuff and nobody outed me. Like I was going, oh my God, I had some atrocious behavior when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like it was this thing. But I was actually kind of dissecting like why that occurred, and it's from society and some other stuff with that thing. No, when I became an adult, like for the most part, I didn't really want to be around a lot of people because a lot of them are abusers, as you see. And Yeah, so no, and I was overly protective of kids, like overly. Like I was like, I will go after anybody if they mess with this one kid. Like I literally will. Like to the point where I'm just like, I even that's probably not good. Like the thing is that there's a lot of people in this world, and most of them that will harm kids because they think that they're healthy individuals and they're not. And it just takes a moment for one of these people who had been abused to then go abuse a kid. So I don't know. You could share your opinions on that. I don't know if they're all necessarily like purposely calculating to go work with kids and then go and target them, or it's the fact that they really were abused. Because we saw the lawyer one too, where he's like, "I was abused and I'm here trying to advocate for him," but then all of a sudden he goes and he does something. So it just may be something that's in them where they didn't go get help, and then they act on their things, and they know that they're being bad. It isn't that, but she's over here like it's your fault for telling on me. I mean, how ridiculous is that? That's a socio. That is straight up a socio. So, but there's a lot being learned from this, you guys. A lot, and this is like finding the cure for cancer. Um, because now, because of last night when I put that thing up, I go, yes, I'm correct. I'm totally correct. And I'm I mean, it's verified by the victims of these people that they're becoming this way because of earlier abuses. And so the area that you need to tackle is that childhood portion. And what are those things fueling it? What I said, the religious stuff, the military stuff, the fact that it's legal to rape kids and do all these things. And so nobody gets in trouble, right? So this chronic cycle keeps going on. The hate speech on women keeps going on. And the hate speech on women actually caused this to happen to her because when she's a kid and she most likely got abused, there was no way for her to really get help, to combat this before she turns into a monster, right? So it's that area. And so I've been really, really on top of this topic. No, yeah, I would be aware of people that are sitting there asking for the DP for sex offenders. It's like overcompensating for the fact that you're one. And yeah, same with the gay thing. I go, yeah, there's a whole thing with that. I think a lot of them are like self-loathing gay men that you just think that being gay is bad, so therefore we should target them, and then they're destroying the planet. Like this thing about it, there's this inner dynamic, and that was the childhood brainwash, right? Where they told the kids, this stuff, or didn't educate them on this stuff, or told them that, people of color, this way and that way, and they're coming out all kinds of wrong, okay? And that stuff really, it stems from your childhood, you guys. It is that, and you need to combat it. And so we can like cut out this sociopath behavior, and being nice and changing people's verbiage is not the thing here. It's quite complex, but it has nothing to do with me getting mad at somebody. Being angry at a group of people is healthy, mostly when they're abusers, because then nobody would have been able to stop a war. You know what I mean? Like where these atrocious crimes are going on to people, and no, they're not going to hang out in a room and be diplomatic with them. There's a lot of things to this, and the general public is an abuser. Yes, the general population is the abuser. Yes. So, and I want to add here too, because I put it on my Instagram, that don't blame yourself if you end up dating an abuser, because the majority of the public is an abuser. The problem is that if you stay in it, yeah, then that would be on you in some way, but there's some cases where it's like if they even try, the guy's going to go psychotic and try to kill everybody, right? So I don't want to put a lot of blame onto that, but the some of the way that people are perceiving that, yeah, no, the chances of you actually getting an abuser is quite high, very high actually. And so, it's not your fault because other people are an abuser. It's a matter of what you do with that, I guess. So, yeah, no, the majority of the public is an abuser, yeah. So, okay, wait, there's only 10 comments. Let's see what they say. Demon possessed? No. I bet the young lad didn't wash his hands for a month. 1-year-old son and engaged, looks like she can't keep her legs shut. Okay, now we're getting misogynist comments here. Whoops, she did it again. Okay, she used her power over him, and that is the mark of the pedo abuse of power, and the leftists have taught us. No. Us men know that the boy is not really traumatized over this. His friends are high-fiving him, and I comment that being said, women fought for equal rights, so she should face the same penalty a man with a 13-year-old girl would get. Oh, well, they didn't get anything, so they should just let her go, huh? Same as 13-year-old female high fives over getting their man. I'm sure she didn't put a gun to his head. Wow. I wouldn't consider her a pedophile. She was just helping the boy become a man. There we go. All right, so the comments under this are horrific. Let's see. Wait, there's 2 more. Fast forward to age 24. No house, no dogs, no finance, no son, no career. Are you still proud of yourself? DP for pedophiles, you say? It's hard to know how much trauma this caused the 13-year-old. It is less than it would be to a 13-year-old girl. Yeah, probably. Wow. Wow. See, these guys are the ones that are promoting it. So they're saying that boys are not traumatized by this. Okay. We just had a case where they're suing just even as an adult, you know what I mean? So just because you didn't think it was bad. So how many people touch you? Wow. Okay. So we're going to move on from that. Okay, so here's another case of a pedophile guy not even getting busted, okay? So he's 80-year-old. 80 they don't fade out, you guys. They may pull a fast one on you, but no. Okay, so he's 80-year-old and he got punched in court by an angry victim after he avoids prison. Okay, so this one's pretty bad too. So a Nevada man who says he was molested by his babysitter from the age of 8 slugged the 80-year-old convicted pedophile in court after learning he would be spared prison time. Tyler Fu, I guess, now 29. Yeah, so like 20 years ago? Yeah, they were all doing this. Okay. Tyler Fu, now 29, was arrested on a misdemeanor battery charge after nailing Richard Gross. His last name is Gross in the face during his sentence on October 2nd. He got more time than the pedophile. Okay, so Vu admitted he felt extremely angry when Gross' plea deal was announced. Yeah, I definitely would be feeling that. I know he's old, but that doesn't change anything like that. Doesn't change the damage that he caused, the horrific effects that I had to live through for decades, and it was not justice at all. Gross was leaving the courtroom with his wife and attorney when Fu stood up and punched the guy in the face and causing him to fall to the floor, according to the arrest report obtained by the news. Gross later complained that he briefly passed out and had to be taken to a hospital, and his wife told the police his glasses were broken. Following his arrest, Fu released a statement through his lawyer expressing remorse for his violent outburst, but also seeking to justify it. While it was on some level cathartic, my actions in court were not appropriate. I was overwhelmed by emotions at the hearing which got the better of me. I was and am deeply troubled by the fact that Richard Gross received no prison time, but I do understand that these things happen sometimes in criminal proceedings. What, that you punched them or that they don't get busted? Because the thing is, they mostly never go to prison, so Gross, a friend of Fu's family, was initially charged with 26 felony counts of sexual abuse stemming from years of molestation. But as part of an agreement with prosecutors, he was allowed to enter an offered plea to a single count of attempted lewdness with a child under 14. An offered plea is a type of guilty plea in which the defendant does not admit to committing a crime, but agrees that the prosecution had enough evidence to secure a conviction. Under the plea deal, the now convicted molester against Fu has testified in court was handed a suspended sentence of 60 to 180 months in state prison. Only if Gross violates the conditions of his probation will he be sent to prison to serve out his sentence. Gross is prohibited from using alcohol, pot, and he must live at least 1,000 feet from schools and other facilities and venues used by children. He must also register as a sex offender with lifetime supervision, which does nothing for the victim. See, these laws, by the way, were created by white male supremacists that wanted to allow men to rape women. So it really didn't have men in mind in these things, really. And I don't think there should be any plea thing because it has something to do with them not caring about you as a human and that the actions that happen to you, like you're a vehicle, right? Like someone stole a car, right? And the way that they're perceiving this process is unreal. But yeah, something needs to be changed there. That shouldn't happen. It's like, is the victim okay with that? No. Okay, so Gross is prohibited. Okay, so so Fu claimed Gross began sexually abusing him while babysitting when he was 8 years old, and the molestation continued until he was 15. It just doesn't make sense how someone can abuse a child multiple times and just walk away without any prison time. Yeah, exactly. That's what we have fits about. And then we get targeted for it, right? So how dare you getting angry in a courtroom, dude? You know, like I have empathy for him being angry because that shouldn't have happened, and nor should that type of plea deal be going on. I don't agree with that plea deal thing for this stuff. For other cases, yeah, definitely, but you're talking about another human, and it's like, we don't care what happened to that human over there. So do you want to get off? You know, this type of thing. We're gonna give you a chance and not even get busted, dude. Yeah, no. And it puts the rest of us at risk too, by the way. Okay, so I really tried to put it away and move on and be strong. But as you get older, you start to realize what went wrong more, and I saw exactly where my problems were coming from. Yes. Uh-huh. And Fu filed a civil lawsuit against Gross and his wife, accusing them of assault and battery, false imprisonment, intention to inflict of emotional distress and negligence. Okay, so Fu claimed Gross molested him at his home, in his pickup truck, and on a camping trip, and his wife allegedly knew of her husband's, his conduct towards the minor children, boys, and did nothing to protect Fu. As he molested Fu, Gross is said to have warned him, "Do not tell anyone, including your mom," and said that he wanted them both to feel good, according to the complaint. Yuck. Both of them should be arrested, the wife and him. Oh, let's see. The comments here are different from the other one where it was a female perpetrator. So we just showed the female perpetrator on a male, so they were all kind of promoting it, making jokes. Let's see how they comment here, right? The legal system has been broken for generations. It's only of late that more and more people are coming to recognize that reality. Okay, in the current system, it's better to be an outlaw than law-abiding. This is part of the Democrats' platform. Wake up. They even told us so. We're coming for your children. Okay, you're just stupid because you don't know the history of this. Justice in this country is now about money. Okay, another 80-year-old Republican gets off easy, probably a man of the church. Actually, that's probably more true than anything. I don't know if he's a church man, but okay, revenge is a dish best served cold. He should have waited and taken care of the perp later. Food punching him is entirely understandable, but not smart to do in court. Okay, punched. He deserves to be in jail where justice for Chesters await people like him. They don't care. I mean, the lie about all that. Okay, so in the US, you can rape a young boy repeatedly for 7 years and not go to jail, but have the victim punched and the rapist once in the face and the victim goes to jail. Yeah. Liberals have brought you this sort of system. It wasn't liberals, P-Bay. It was not liberals. It's so funny. Nobody knows the history, right? I told you I had to go look at the history myself to see where the hell this crap came from. It came from Christian white men. So, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Well, your Lord actually made these laws. So, okay, unusual, usual suspect. Just what we need, another 80-year-old pedophile. What it means is that he's been touching kids probably for about 80 years. Or whenever, as soon as he was able to, right? The old pervert won't be where he can be prosecuted. Yeah, the thought that it was just at 80 years old, or, the guy is 29 now. So in 1990, whenever, 20 some odd years ago, whenever this happened, right? That he just started up. That's not how this goes. When there is in let's see, wait, good. I hope it hurt. Should have kicked him and went. Okay, one less vote for Trump. I can't wait to see Trump lose again. Corrupt justice system. Thank men for it, okay? Because this is what we're fighting against, is changing the old laws that were in place from old America, right? That America that you guys keep saying make America great again. Well, these are the old laws from that old America that you want back. So we're trying to change that, okay? But anyways, yeah, the comments in here are just too bad the punch wasn't holding a knife. All known pedophiles should go to prison for the rest of their lives with no chance of parole. Good. He actually looks like a Biden family member. See, this went all political. I don't care how old this pedophile is. He should spend the rest of his miserable days in prison. No apologizing. Okay, this, that. Yeah, no, this went all political and stupid. Okay. Alright, we're done with that.